Uh, my girlfriend assured me we could get to the post office and back in 30 minutes. She was wrong. Um, to get started with Schemaverse, is there anyone here that wasn't here last week? I think yes.
I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, there's a lot more people this week. Okay, well, welcome. Nice to have you. If you look in general, there is a document that I sent, which is just kind of a quick start guide to Schemaverse. Actually, let me share my screen. I can't share my screen. I'm on my phone. Thanks, WebEx.
Do you have to show us your widescreen again?
No. Let me try this. All right, can you see all that?
It's still loading up.
Oh. Should be looking at a Google Doc.
It just said Aaron Boyd desktop is starting to share content, and it's just loading.
Oh, WebEx. Why? So while we wait on WebEx, anyone that wants to dissipate, Chris and I were talking about whether we should do teams and or individuals. So basically when you're playing, you're assigned a quote player. We could hand out players for like a group of 4 people or something, or we could just have actual individual players. Is there anyone here that would feel more comfortable playing as a team, or do you guys want to play as individuals?
I'd be comfortable playing as a team if anyone else wants to join me. I've got a pretty good handle on database scripting, so if anyone is less comfortable with that, feel free to join me.
You can totally put a poll in the chat. No one else can, but you can. If you want to do that now.
I'm probably just going to observe because this is my first meeting, so I don't know how any of this works.
No worries.
I can share my screen, and this is supposed to be very communal. You guys can all unmute your mics if you want. I just want to hang out and
feel free to heckle Aaron if he messes something up.
Yeah,
it's kind of a tradition of our club is to heckle whoever's presenting.
Yeah. Okay.
Although to be fair, considering that this is a club of people who all just use technology, I'm like, we should probably just be used to stuff not working at this point.
Yeah.
Hence why we heckle.
Aaron.
Hey, we have sight.
Woohoo! All right. So I think. Oh, I can see it on my phone too. Perfect. Okay. So for those who don't know, Schemaverse is. This is a long document. I apologize. There's no good visuals in it, but basically, it's a space strategy game where you have planets and ships, and those ships basically can go around. They can attack they can attack other ships. They can mine planets for resources. Basically like Star Wars, but it's all in a database. So I highly recommend you download and view this document that is in general. It goes through connecting and actually how to play the game. There's a whole bunch of info. It looks like a lot, and I apologize, but it's kind of a quick read, and I imagine you'll be copying and pasting a lot of these queries to get started. But with that, have we, okay. Oh, the presenter needs to open polling.
Who's that? Is that me?
I don't. All right.
Might
Says
Basically,
Chris is the host.
how we start this game is I need people to give me usernames and passwords. So if you want to play, which I highly encourage it, this game is super slow. Let me go back. Basically, it runs on a tick system. So one tick is 1 minute, and you get a whole minute to like run queries and do all your stuff. So it's really not a quick game. Like Chris said, we're probably going to run it for 2 to 3 weeks. So if you're really scared of SQL or like this is new to you, I really think this would be a good time to participate and learn because it's pretty slow. So with that, if anyone wants to play, please message me with a username and a password, and I can get the game running. Message me on Slack, sorry.
So I think I downloaded Postgres, but where do you see your username and password? I don't remember making one.
Username and password for what? This is for the game, so
Yeah, I think he's saying to literally just make one up.
yeah.
Like make up a
okay.
username and password and send it to him.
Yeah,
It's
so you
not
have to
sharing
send
my
Aaron
screen.
your password and username. It's not going to be shared between databases. The game actually maintains its own user table, so it's not going to be like a normal authentication anyway.
Yeah, I apologize. To clarify, yeah, come up with a username, come up with a password, and that'll be what you use to sign into the game.
Aaron, are you adding teams right now? Or users, teams, either one?
Yeah, I'm just creating a shell script, so
All
I
right,
can do it
so
all
I'm
in
going to
one go.
create a channel in this Slack called the Schemaverse if anyone would like to join that, just so
Perfect.
we can kind of scope all of our conversations about this to there. Feel free to join it as soon as I create it. As of now, hopefully. Nope, as of now. There we go. So, yeah.
Chris or Aaron, Nick asked, does he need to download to be a part of this?
Download what? Sorry.
Download anything, something.
At some point you will, just because you'll need some way to connect whatever programming language you want to use to Postgre. You can't really do that without a client. If you're doing Python, which is probably going to be easiest, this will be super easy. If you have no idea what I just said, please join my team. It'll be self-evident as we get going. But basically, you'll just need client software to connect.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to be with you. I have no idea what you just said.
All right, cool. Even better. Yeah, so the easiest for Windows is probably if you just search pgadmin4. That's a post. Actually, will that even work, Aaron? pgadmin work?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If you
pgadmin.
look, sorry, if you look in that document that I sent in general, it's got a bunch of clients listed there. If you know how to wheel Docker, you can run pgadmin and Docker, but if not, if you go to pgadmin's website, they have instructions on how to download and install.
All our first year, the talk and sound first. You'll get used to it really quickly, and the more you get involved, you'll get used to it. It's really helpful for your classes. I think any of our members probably attest they're helping in class or on co-op.
Does anyone already have co-op signed up if you're first year? It'd be pretty impressive. Someone probably no, but shout it out if you do. I'm going to take that as a no. But also, if you don't have a co-op as a first year, don't feel anxious about it, because I didn't get mine until, like, spring of my first year.
I got mine, I think, February of my first year. They make the co-op process.
If you're using Python, you're probably going to want to use the pip install for it. Pip is Python's package manager for dependencies. So I think the accepted one is PGSQL. You know what it is, Aaron?
It's like PG cop. Hold on.
PG PostGib. I'll find it. I'm having a stroke. PostGib. Okay, I've got a Google result with no answers. Let me find it.
It is PSY cop G2. Here. Do you have a Schemaverse channel yet?
Yeah. Pascopig.
Yeah, I don't know what that name represents, but it's awful.
Yeah, and if you have Python installed, this will probably be the command you want to type. I'll hit this into the chat in a second. Pycopig 2. If you're on Windows, this might not work. Thanks, Jack. If you have no idea what that command means, don't worry about it, especially if you're first year, because the Python class here is actually very good, and we'll go over what that means. But basically, Python means run Python, -m means run a module for Python, which you have installed in your system. Pip is the package manager. Oh, I actually messed up this command. My bad. Pip is the package manager for Python, and then install is the install command for pip, and then pyscopig2 is the Postgres connector client. So if you do that command roughly on Windows, and if you don't know how to run that command, just run it in Bash or CMD. I want to guess not a whole lot of people if you're using desktop Linux. So CMD.
I think. Oh, cool.
Or PowerShell.
PowerShell bad.
Oh my god. I was in my cloud computing class last night, and someone, or not someone, the professor was like, okay, everyone, open PowerShell. I was like, what? I was like, what do we specifically need to do in PowerShell? But he was just trying to SSH into the machine. I was like, okay, I can do that.
Gotcha.
But then, like...
The only thing that I ever had to use a PowerShell for was when I was doing IT work and I had to fix a DLL error.
Yeah, but then I SSH into the cloud computing course machine at UC, and I just watched the login sessions for the next 5 minutes. There's 40 people in this class, and only one other person made it into the machine. It was one of my roommates from last year. It was bad. Mostly graduate students too. Real bad.
Okay, so I think I've got everyone.
Bye,
I'm gonna
JT.
list. Oh, bye. I'm gonna list usernames. If you don't hear yours, yell at me. So I've got Green Cobra 27. I've got Big Boy, Apartment Loud, Reverse Banana, King Kai, G Juice. Question this. Speak chat. We good?
Can I, do I just message you my username and password for the thing
Yes.
on Slack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry it has to be this way. Schemaverse doesn't have a better way to add players.
All right, I'm slightly confused here. What should I be downloading in order to participate in what's going on?
Any programming language you're comfortable with, and then
Okay.
if you just want to Google that programming language and then like PostgreSQL client, that's probably going to be the best help for you. If you have no idea how to use database, Python's going to be the easiest languages
Okay.
or easiest language to use. So I can walk people through that. Aaron, do you mind if I steal the screen for a minute?
Oh yeah. Also, sorry, a good example of a Python script for not Schemaverse, SQL in general. I just sent one in the Schemaverse channel. There are a couple of examples in there. Basically, that was my like janky visualizer. So there's some examples, but sorry, Chris, you can steal the screen.
Okay. Does anyone not have any experience with really like a database in general, relational database that is?
I don't.
Okay. That is absolutely fine. Okay, multiple people. That's understandable. So let me share a screen. Which screen? This screen? This screen. Share. Okay. Can you see my big swirly background?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to open CMD real quick and see. Okay, microphone's not on. Sorry. Sorry, she's watching RuPaul's Drag Race. So I've got CMD open. If you don't know how to open this, you can Windows search CMD or just hit Windows key R, type CMD and hit enter. I happen to have Python. Oh, never mind, I don't have Python already. We're doing this from scratch. All right, if you don't have Python, download. Shove it in Google. Google already knows what you want. Python.org/downloads. Downloads. 3.8.5 is the most recent version. Really anything 3.5 or above is considered stable right now. Or stable and up to date right now. Install now or else. Yeah, but basically the easiest way to use Python is from the command line. If you have a non-Windows system, it's even easier because you can get upgraded versions of Python real easy. If anyone's using Anaconda or IPython, those are alternative Python interpreter, so like running environments. They make things a little bit nicer from the command line side, but that's pretty much it. All right, installing 32-bit on a 64-bit machine. Whatever, I'm being compatible. Let me close my shell. So if you're not aware, if you install something on Windows and it adds a executable to your path, which is just basically the list of directories. What is it? Path? A list of directories that Windows will search when you run a command to run an executable from. You do actually have to restart any application for it to use the updated path, which is annoying. So Python 3, maybe if I type it correctly. Okay, where did that install? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how Windows works again because I've lived in Python for too long, or Linux for too long.
You can't even install Python.
Not on Windows.
You're a senior.
I just forgot where to install it. I think it's under Program Files. Okay, Cliff is telling me where. Thanks, Cliff. So here's the path. Cliff just corrected my command. I was trying to type a little bit ago. This is basically the list of all directories on Windows that you're going to look for when you type a command here, like Chrome. We'll open Chrome. I guess not actually, because my path is Chrome. Cool. Can you just run Chrome? I don't remember what it is anymore. Anyway, somewhere. Wait, what the hell? Or 2. Apparently I have Radare 2 on Windows, which I did not think I had. But you can see that like Radare 2 is in this folder up here called Radare 2. Let's select the right line. So it's looking in that folder for Radare 2, which I just ran. And this will go top to bottom. So I installed Python somewhere. Let me add that to my path, and then we'll continue. I'm actually going to skip this and just run Linux shell on Python, or on Windows. This is just going to make it way easier for me. As you can see, I can just run Python natively, but I also have IPython 3, which is the same thing as Python 3, but through the IPython interpreter, which is just a little bit different, which basically means it's the same, it's a different implementation of the language, but the user interface from the command line is a lot nicer, I think. So import, and then there's a lot of tab completion. So all that white on my screen is now like all the libraries I have installed. That Python pip install pscopig. Sorry, Aaron. I'm sorry for everyone for my keyboard being so loud. I'm aware. I usually mute myself, but I'm talking at the same time. All right. I'll type this, and then you guys can observe. I'll just make it larger for you guys if you're struggling to see. So here's the command. We run this, and hopefully it works. I don't have pip. Okay. Maybe it's Python 3 is what I'm missing. Yeah. So if you're not super familiar with Python, Python itself is Python 2. Python 3 is Python 3. There's a few different version differences in there. Generally, it has to do with how you encode bytes versus strings. Python 3 is considered up to date because it's newer, but
So am I supposed to run this like in Python? Is that what you're doing?
This is just in a bash shell, which is like the default Linux shell, and Windows the equivalent would be CMD. You can run this in PowerShell, CMD, whatever shell you have. Yeah, whatever you're most comfortable with, feel free to use. If you don't know what's happening, feel free to watch too. It's really thinking about this one. So usually pip install just takes a few seconds, so I'm not really sure what's happening here. Probably because I'm running it in a container on Windows, and now messing up all my windows. Cliff, you sent a message, but there's no path in it.
Apparently you cannot edit chat, so I'm going to finish that up.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Yeah, I know
Max.
Python 2 installs FNC, like at the root. Oh, cool, I got a sweet error. Pyscopic 2. I probably mistyped it.
I think it's PSY.
That looks more correct. Alright, it says collecting, so hopefully that works. So if anyone's interested, the way the Python package manager works is this just in like an FTP, or not even FTP, it's an HTTP server somewhere. On pypy.org/simple/pyscoping2, you'll see like all the packages for this. So Python's a pretty easy language to learn because everything's super user friendly. Cliff has just linked where the Python output, where the Python installation is for Windows.
Suitable.
Yeah. If you really want to set that, you can search in Windows settings variables, and you'll edit the system environmental variables, and you can just edit them from your user. You add that to the path list, which is kind of a weird thing to say without. Yeah, sorry, Devin. This is kind of a lot at once. Short term is we're running Python. Long term is I assumed everyone already had Python installed and also had 5 years of computer science experience, which is my bad. But basically, we're just trying to install any language we're comfortable with, as well as connect the client software for that language to connect to our database. So hopefully that's not too confusing. Yeah, this was way better in person because we could actually help each other debug. Oh no, PG config executable not found. Oh god. Alright, I might do this for my laptop just because. Do you have this, Aaron?
I mean, I have SQL stuff ready to go on.
Yeah, if
machine.
you're ready, show us.
Okay.
I'm just in my super broken Linux container.
Okay.
Which is very much not happy about running. I don't think I've updated it in like a year. Alright, go ahead and steal the screen then.
Okay. Sorry, I'm messaging people on the side, just giving help. Devin, we will get to that.
If anyone has questions, I can answer them too.
Yeah, I want this to be like super low stress and transparent. So like, if you have no idea what's going on, please yell at us or message us. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're good.
Sweet. Okay. I have everything installed, but basically what Chris was looking for is, or he had it, it just wouldn't. Oh, I already have that. Okay. Well, basically, you're installing a Python module, which will let us utilize, or let us connect to the database. But let me just show you. So in my Python shell, this is IPython, different from regular Python. It looks prettier. I think Chris explained that.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes.
Do you remember what the Postgre native Python client is? Is it libpsql? pgsql?
Say that one more time.
libpgsql client.
I think it's just PS.
On Linux?
Yes.
Oh, it's
yeah, it's just PSQ.
Is it PSQL or is it libpsql client?
I think it's PostgreSQL client. Yeah.
For the library, the headers though. Is it client dev or is it the client?
That's a wonderful question.
Okay.
What are you trying to use it for?
Someone asked in chat. I'm pretty sure that's what you want. Jack Marginson.
Thank you.
Lib PostgreSQL. I might be wrong. It might just be PostgreSQL client.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know to get PSQL, you just do Postgres client. Or
can you search libpgsql real quick? I'm pretty sure this is what we needed before. I just don't have my Linux machine ready. Client.
lib,
the native one. Just so people are following any Python package, especially for Debian-like operating systems that starts with lib. Lib is usually just like C and C++ code for actually compiling the executables. So, for example, if you were going to download like Google Chrome, if you saw lib Google Chrome dev or client, this would just be like the source code for it. So, the Python package that we're using requires Postgre somewhere, but I might have the wrong package because I'm using weird versions of Linux now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what problem are we trying to solve here?
Nothing. I was wrong.
Okay.
You're good. I was just answering Jack's question in the chat about what packages he'll need to do this.
Gotcha.
So I was just wrong.
I just realized to show off Python stuff, I'm going to need to show you guys my password. So we're going to utilize a
What's your password?
No. All right, we're going to steal some of this visualizer. Or I'm going to walk through. And actually, here's what we can do. Chris, if I throw this in interactive mode, will I still have a handle on this?
I have no idea. What is the script?
Let's try it. It's basically...
Oh, do you mean like Python I?
Yeah.
Not if you're outside the scope of that variable or that function.
Yeah.
If you throw the debugger in front of it, you will, because you'll stop in the function.
Let's do that. So for those who are following, or maybe not, this is a Python script that I wrote to visualize the game. As we get further into this game, you might want to just see like, hey, where is everything? Like, where are my ships versus where are planets? This script does a really jank way, or has a really jank way of doing that. Let me show you real quick.
Is anyone just wildly lost? And if so, what do you think you need help on? Because we're free to stop and to help people set up. So usually we have this in person, and usually we have a few meetings before this. But we just kind of wanted to dive into something fun, which, you know, this is just tons of fun already.
If you're not having fun, tell us, and we'll try to fix it.
If you're not having fun, tell us, and we'll be upset and we'll cry. But we'll try
So
to
what needs to be installed exactly for you to be able to use Python in Schemaverse?
So to use Python with Schemaverse, you just need Python and a PostgreSQL client software for Python. The one we had earlier was PyScopig, or PSYcopig 2, which is just a library for Python to connect to Postgre. You can use this with any language though, because it's a pretty common database, and there's clients for it for every. Yeah, it should. NPSQL.
And you install that through your command prompt, right?
Yeah, so Aaron and I are pretty tuned to Linux.
Fair enough.
So we're going to use a lot of Bash, which is what you're seeing on Aaron's screen right now, and just general Linux stuff, usually in the Debian style environment. NPGSQL will probably work if that's a Postgre library. Like I said, just use whatever you're comfortable with. There's no one answer to this, this is how we're doing it. And Nick, is for downloading PScopig, the library, you should be able to just use it in any Python script on your system now, as long as you didn't install it in a virtual environment, which I don't think you did, which you would know if you did. So if you open the Python script, you should be able to import PSYcopig 2, and I think they have instructions on their page on how to do that. So if you just look for the PYScopig, I don't know how to type 2 examples. They have all kinds of stuff on this, and Aaron's going to be using this one, I think. Right, Aaron?
Yeah. I'm just trying to find a way to do it where I don't show you guys my password. So this is a visualizer script I wrote. What you're seeing is me just giving it parameters to sign in. We'll run that and give it my password, and it's very ugly, but it might become useful later on. Where
So those are all the
see,
planets in the game.
yeah.
Oh, I thought
So-
it was gonna be like some Dwarf Fortress, a dark room type thing.
Oh shit,
No.
man! You play Dwarf Fortress?
Dude, I play Dwarf Fortress all the time.
Oh hell yeah! Dwarf Fortress is one of my favorite games.
I don't even use a tile set. Just give me the ASCII.
You are correct.
I get called a heathen by my friends.
You are the first person I've ever met who's actually played Dwarf Fortress. Everyone else just jokes about it.
Oh
Sorry.
no, dude! Like I'll sit there and I'll just be like, hey, if I live in a foam area, can I actually just live at all?
Can I have haunted clouds, please? Okay, moving on from that. Devin, I see your question about how to do this on Windows. Just make sure you have the... Actually, I don't know how to do this on Windows. I haven't used Windows in so long. Does anyone else
I've
happen
got
to
it covered
know?
for Windows.
Sweet. Cliff?
I'm
please-
writing up
please tell.
instructions right now.
Sweet.
I am modifying this
Yes,
script,
I also
so
have Windows. I lack the knowledge on how to use Python in depth on Windows because I'm usually using Linux. Sorry for being...
Honestly, I don't even use Python on Windows CMD. I just use Visual Studio Code, so that way I don't have to. So that way my code just gets saved nice and easy.
that's valid.
Yeah. I have my VS Code on Windows set up so that the shell that it opens is actually the Windows subsystem for Linux. So
Okay.
it's pretty much as if you're on Linux, except it's kind of nasty. It takes like 5 seconds to run anything.
And to be fair, I'm still just sitting here trying to figure out how I can make an entire Discord bot and not have everything be async.
The answer is you're probably not going to be able to unless it's using an HTTP style protocol.
Yeah,
So really,
I know.
it
It's just
depends
annoying because I have to write. It's like 1,700 lines just because I have to write some things twice, and I can't call anything else.
Yeah.
So it's giant blocks of code.
Does Discord not have their own client library? Because Slack does.
No, not really. They're
seems
trying to
fake.
become more developer friendly, though.
I would be very much surprised if there's not at least like a community version of a library for Discord on
There
Pip
is.
already.
It's called Discord.py. Py.
Okay.
But when you use it, you have to make everything async for it to work properly.
That is terrible. Async
I know.
Python is basically only usable for like servers and a few WebSocket applications. If you're using it for plain HTTP, which I'm pretty sure Discord is, you're making a big bad wrong decision.
It actually works really good. But that's mainly because I mainly use it to play WFRP and D&D. So, you know. It's really nice for die roller bots. If it's something that was running properly, it would like entirely like permanently, it would probably choke and
Cool.
die.
For those that are watching my screen, I now have a way that we can.
Long boy.
Yep, that's me.
If no one here has seen Aaron in person, he's very skinny and very tall, so we call him Long Boy.
Okay, so
It's almost as if he's been stretched out like a piece of taffy.
really, this script is long, but for those at home following along, this is really what you need. Is you know what? So we yank this, and we'll yank this. That, I think, is all you'll really need. So basically, we're going to import this ESY config module, and that will allow us to talk to the Schemaverse database. And then how we connect the database is really all you need is this line. So psy config2.connect, and then give it our database, our username, our password, host, and port. For those who don't know, Postgres, its default port is 5432. That is the port that we're running it on AWS, so don't worry. This get pass line is just a way to give a password without showing it. And then PyScopic returns a connection to the database. So the test. Very cool. It was Schemaverse. And so you guys can test this.
Hey, Aaron, can you drive around the database in PG admin for a little bit just to get everyone like a quick understanding of how it's laid out?
Yeah. So chat it. Totally just showed everyone your password.
What's Chad's password?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So for anyone not familiar with databases, it's basically like Microsoft Excel on steroids. Generally, you want to compose or decompose object like lists of objects that you would have logically in a language, like a linked list kind of thing, into their own individual objects with relation to something like a container for them, or for like a parent object. So you'll see things like foreign keys, which is cat's crawling on me. Oh, I've got nails in my neck. Cat got me. But basically, you'll see things like foreign keys, which are
what is going on?
You'll have IDs on objects. A foreign key will be an ID to another object, and you can enforce those logically in the database. You'll be able to store basic data types like strings, numbers, decimals, things like that. Postgres is probably one of the most feature-rich databases that is publicly available by a pretty huge margin. So if anyone's not confused, or if anyone is confused, don't worry too much about it, because this is actually like a lot of information to ingest at once. We're going to be doing this for a few weeks, so hopefully you'll get pretty accustomed to it. Yeah. Tyler, Aaron's the one presenting right now, but I'll relay that to him.
What?
Google Docs
sorry,
has Google Docs has trouble if you don't Control C to use copy.
Well, I think it's because I used the code blocks formatting. So like.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. The code blocks plugin is really weird.
Code blocks is angry. So the admin should be running. Local host. Excuse me. 80. Okay, cool. So
PG Admin's a web app now? What is this?
Apparently
PG Admin 3 was in like Java.
Oh, maybe on Windows it is, but running it on Linux, I was able to get a web app. I don't know.
3 used to be a web app, or not a web app, but like a native Qt application, so maybe they've upgraded it.
Interesting. Okay, so I think this is what people on Windows will see. If not, please let me know.
That's what I see.
Okay, cool. So you're really going to aim for this add new server. I'm not a PG admin expert, so we're fumble through this together if we go into uncharted territory. But to create a new connection to our Schemaverse server, I'm just going to name it Schemaverse. Okay, cool. The host name is what I just copied into Slack. It's just the AWS public IP. The port is 5432, like I said. Maintenance database is Schemaverse. And then username is whatever you sent me. And then password is whatever password you sent me. Is anyone lost or need help?
I'm good.
Cool. All right, so we're going to save that. And then hopefully, if I didn't fat finger your password, you should be able to connect. Oh, wow. I can see people. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know why I get this string indices must be integers.
I think that's part of the permission scoping with Schemaverse because it's supposed to be super locked down, so people can't just see each other's passwords.
Gotcha.
I've never not had that issue playing Schemaverse.
Sweet. So you get that, don't worry about it. So yeah, this is the Schemaverse database. To actually write queries, you're going to aim for this little like database with a play button icon, and that'll bring up their query tool. But over here, we can click around, and I guess there's no casts. I don't know what catalogs are. I find it hard to believe they don't have triggers. I don't know what extensions are. But schema is okay. What's the formal definition of a schema, Chris? I mean, that's really
A schema
that's your
is
database.
It's a data representation that represents other data. So, for example, the way you define a database table is technically a part of your schema. The schema is the overarching, the entirety of all that.
Gotcha.
It's kind of an abstract concept, but basically, it's a piece of code that represents a set of objects, more or less, in terms of logical structure.
It's like the
So
blueprint for your database, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like the blueprint for how your data is laid out. For example, if you have a JSON schema for a NoSQL database, that's going to represent that type of JSON object. A little bit more fuzzy on what the exact look of a schema for a SQL database would look like, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually just the what was I saying? The SQL definition of that database would be the schema.
Good.
Nick,
I'm getting an error that's not letting me join. It says
Nick,
fail no pg underscore hba dot config entry for host, then my IP. User Kinkai for database Postgres SLL.
So make sure you change your database to Schemaverse. One sec.
Yeah, database is inside of the server as a logical like grouping of tables. So this will be like if you're trying to open a file you don't have permissions for. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The default one is Postgre though.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you change your maintenance to Schemaverse, even though yeah, make sure it's Schemaverse because I've had that problem before.
Nick Stone, did you try to go to that that Compute One Amazon link directly, or did you just connect to it with your database? Because it's not going to be something you can look at directly. It's going to be a database server. Oh, if you go to channels and then pull up the little plus next to it, there's a browse channels option. We have enough now that they're not all shown. I believe Schemaverse is public.
Yeah, I was able to find it.
Yeah. And the server info is your username as you sent it to Aaron combined with that Amazon URL, which is somewhere in our chat now. Here it is.
I'll
I'll put a star on it in the chat. That's a star. It's a thumbs up, but it's a star.
I thought you could flag it. Or no? Oh well.
Hey, Aaron, people are still getting connection errors.
Okay.
I'm gonna step away from my microphone for a second.
Okay. So who is still having connection errors?
I'm still having connection errors.
What's the error it's giving you?
It's giving me the same error with the database Schemaverse again, but
Interesting.
I
Can you
I
send
don't
me
know
a?
much, but yeah, I'll send you a screenshot. I'll
Yeah,
post it
yeah.
in Slack.
Congratulations to Chad and Cole. So Nick, the host name is that Amazon EC2 5488.
I'm receiving that same error message.
Interesting. Let me try to connect as your users just to make sure. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick so I don't give out passwords. Okay, yeah, I get that error too.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, I ran the add player stuff and everything was fine. Let me kill it and try this all again. I hope no one has tried to play because I'm gonna wipe everything.
I'm back.
We're having some interesting.
Oh, that's a configuration issue for the IP address not being trusted for that user.
What?
This is a Postgre thing. We worked through this last time. I don't remember how though.
I think it was because we weren't specifying the database, but
No, there's a PGA HBA comp is like the Postgre security settings, or just the Postgre connection settings. And there's, oh my god, cat just jumped on my neck again. Is basically a setting that says allow all users from all IPs, and I think that's what we're missing.
weird.
Yeah, we might have to debug this a little bit further. All right. We're probably going to end it soon, Nick. Thank you for coming this week. Sorry if you're confused. We're still kind of working through this ourselves. We've never actually run Schemaverse before, so this is exciting and new to all of us. But there's also a YouTube video on Schemaverse that goes very in depth about the actual gameplay logic. So if you want to watch that anytime.
Is it the DEF CON 19 video?
Hell yeah, it's a DEF CON 19 video.
I watched all that video.
It's a good one. But
Is that the guy who makes Schemaverse? The guy speaking?
Yeah, the guy who speaks at that talk is the guy who made it. What's his? Yeah, but that's the guy who made it. He made it as a practical example for himself to learn database security, and then it's actually a pretty fun game. Like, if there's an instance of it online that's always running, like 24/7, and there's basically people who just develop AIs to play it for them, which is pretty sweet. So this was supposed to be a pretty chill way for us to learn some fun system stuff together. But as you can probably tell, we've actually never done this before, so we're all a little bit confused, including me.
That's cool.
Yeah. Aaron, do you want to cut this in 15 minutes? Because we'll have been going for... Okay. So we'll go for a little bit longer. Nick, if you got to head out, that's totally fine. We'll make sure you get caught up when we come back. That's got big. Jack, yes. All right, Nick, see you, man. Yeah, Jack, so you'll want to add a connection to the PG4 or PG admin 4 as Aaron showed. Aaron, are you sharing your screen anymore?
No, I was trying to log in as other users to make sure that they could get on.
Can they get on from your IP address?
No.
Ew. Could you get on from your IP address? That's weird.
I could get onto mine. Let me start trying other
Did you
users.
use the create user script?
Yeah.
Did it come back successful?
Yeah.
Can you create a new user in front of me?
I was able
to get in.
Yeah, I was able to log in.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think it was just a few people who could get in. They had the same error.
Okay, I'm a little behind. I just got the PG admin 4 thing. What do I do to try to connect to the server?
The add host option is the connect to server option. Yeah. So the parameters of that are your username and password that you sent Aaron if he made them all, which I think he did. And then the host name is the Amazon AWS link from before. Port is 5432, which is the default one. Maintenance database should be Schemaverse.
Yeah.
And I think that should work, but we are having issues with it. It might be case sensitive or forced lowercase. I see some of your usernames are mixed case, so maybe try that.
Is it still up right now?
It's on AWS, so it's going to be running 24/7. Was that it? Is it forced lowercase?
Yeah, because I just got
sweet
yelled at for invalid password.
Yeah, I remember that being a stupid error just related to the script that makes users.
So let's check passwords. Those should be
all right.
Okay.
Whoever's got King Kai as their username, can you retry the hi or Kai? Can you retry the login, but with lowercase username?
With the lowercase password too, if I had any caps.
It's still yelling at me.
Try combinations of both. I'm not really sure.
I'm gonna change everyone's username to lowercase and go from there.
That seems to be working though, Aaron.
Let me try. I'm gonna nuke everything real quick.
Okay, I have one last question. It's asking me for a, like in general, it's asking me for a name. Name must be specified. Is that?
Oh, that's just whatever. Like, you can.
Okay, I got you.
General.
Yeah, that's just a logical name for you to assign a database.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I got it.
on. Yep.
Cool.
So
I'm
everyone
glad that weird
should be
knowledge from
good.
like 3 years ago came back.
Yeah, I was wondering that because I'm like, mine is all lowercase, and it seems that the only people with uppercase. Okay.
That's really weird.
Okay, is there anyone still trying to connect that is having trouble?
I'm still trying to connect. When I do mine, that's all lowercase. It says password authentication failed, but I'm almost positive that's it.
What's your username?
Reverse banana.
Let me try real quick. Oh wait, hold on. I might have missed a B. Let's try this again.
There's a B?
There's a B? Oh shit.
It's painful trying to code when I'm not able to outsource information to tables.
Yeah, so a lot of the information on the database can't be done in tables. There's views, which are just cache tables, I guess, for
Oh fuck! I think
things
I
that are
found it.
scoped. Yeah, those are scoped to your user. So, for example, the game is played kind of like, say, Civilization, where you can't see all the other units on the map. Well, I guess you can do that in Civ. So you're only going to be able to see your units and units in pretty close proximity of your units. So that's all done through the units table, I believe.
I think I managed to get in.
Are you a reverse banana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got
Can
in.
you give us your best hacker voice? I'm in.
Oh no.
I'm having issues. My password seems to be incorrect, even when I have it lowercase.
Is that you, Tyler?
Yes, it's me, Tyler. I question this.
Yeah, your underscores might be mad.
Oh no.
Let me get rid of those. Dude, Schemaverse is making me mad.
Is it Schemaverse or is it just that create user script?
I have no idea. I'll have to look inside the container and see what it's doing.
Oh, Aaron, I'm off work for like the next 6 days if you want me to help with this at all.
Cool. I'm off work for the next week still.
I thought it was 6 days. I thought you were going back Tuesday.
No.
Trade off.
14.
Cliff's not off work for the next 6 days, is he?
Cliff, what program are you? Cliff, what program are you on?
Can I DM you?
Yes.
Sure. Everyone should be able to get on. Tyler, go ahead and try.
Cliff, did you get any use out of that marker about you today?
I did. I put it up on my whiteboard, and that was about it. That was my
Cool.
use. Thank you.
Do you need an eraser?
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
I don't have any of those, so you're kind of on your own. I have whiteboard markers, but no erasers.
Cliff, what do you mean?
Wait, what?
What do you mean?
I don't know it either, Aaron. I had to find out through other people.
No. Cliff said my DMs are about to be crazy.
Oh, that was from when you were asking people to DM you usernames and passwords.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm in this like server. Where would you think I find like the places to input, like to like do shit?
Are you on PG admin?
Yeah.
So up in the top left, you'll see like a cylinder with a play button. Here, let me show the screen. Click on that.
So I tried to, and it's not actually letting me click on it. Like it's.
What the fuck? Refresh the page. Maybe.
Make sure you're hovering over Schemaverse, I think, because it was not. It was like not letting me click on it until I clicked on Schemaverse.
Yeah, click on the actual Schemaverse database because that's the query tool is not you.
Yeah, I have it highlighted. It still doesn't let me click the.
Let me share my screen and then. Okay. Oh. What?
How does
Oh.
it feel?
I'm just
Get him.
Why do I have two? Excuse me? I don't like that. Why are there two databases?
Is one empty?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I figured it out. I'm just fucking.
Did you create two servers?
I don't. Hold on.
It's just a connection profiler, and you can have two of the same.
Yeah, I've only got one container running, so let's get rid of this. Delete. All right. I think that's okay. All right. Did you say that you resolved your problem?
Yeah, I just had to use my
Okay,
brain
cool.
a little bit more. Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Aaron, I'm getting a DNS issue on the server. I don't know if that's a you issue or a me issue. I'm gonna guess it's a me issue.
That's probably the you issue. One sec. I think sometimes AWS just arbitrarily changes your public IP, which is kind of annoying.
Do you have Elastic IP set up? Access to database denied. Ooh, okay, that's a different error. I got it. I just had a bad URL, and so I mistyped my username somehow.
Gotcha.
Even though my username is 4 letters.
Ooh.
So how did you modify my username?
Oh, sorry, I got rid of the underscores, so it's just I am confused or something.
Okay, and then the password's supposed to be all lowercase.
No, passwords are fine.
Okay.
So you mentioned like you dropped this like script in here that you said helped you kind of like organize stuff. Where should I put that at then? Like, do I just keep that somewhere on hand or?
Yeah, you can just throw it anywhere, like your documents or.
Gotcha.
Chris, how do I enable Elastic IP?
You have to allocate one, which is under EC2 Elastic IP. Is Cole in the chat? Cole probably knows how to do this better than I do. Where's our AWS certified expert? He's not here. But then you have to assign that to one of your hosts. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll just give you a somewhat static IP, which basically means it's static until you stop using it, and then they charge you extra, and then they change it. Which is
I
kind
am
of weird.
here. I was just talking on mute. My bad.
Cole?
Chris? Hello?
AWS on him.
Yeah, basically exactly what Chris said is fairly accurate as to how to get that to work. However, I've never had like an issue with the host name in the past.
It's one of the two features I've used. I don't think it's changing as we're currently sitting here. But
yeah, it usually doesn't.
It will change within the week, though.
Yeah.
Do you actually?
Do I have to redeploy my?
You shouldn't have to.
Yeah. You.
No, you don't have to.
I don't think you do.
It's just an IP address.
Well, yeah,
you have
but
to know how
yeah,
to spell
but they might.
like me.
They might have
my
you like
EC2 instance
attach an
doesn't
ENI.
have. Hold on, let me try this again. Yeah,
We didn't have to redeploy the CTF server.
Cole, is there a way to like edit my instance?
No, it's the other way around, Aaron. You have to go to your IP and then add your
you
instance to
attach
that.
the IP from like the IP side. So in the
Yeah.
EIP section, after you allocate it, you should be able to go up to actions when you have it selected and then hit associate. And then you should be able to do that.
Hey, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what my username is and password in Slack? I'm getting a connection error. I'm pretty sure it's because I'm retarded and I can't type 3 letters.
1 second. Wait, Chris, which one were you?
Soup. Did you forget to add me? Because I'll be sad.
I think I did.
Oh, that would explain it.
I'm sorry.
All right, my name is Soup, and my password is my known password.
I gotcha.
Whoa, what?
Can you tell Miranda to chill?
She's watching RuPaul's Drag Race very loudly.
Oh, I see. All right, Chris, you should be good.
Also, our apartment's at this weird angle where somehow like the speakers on the TV, even at like the lowest setting, hit my desk perfectly. So I don't know what that's about.
Oof.
I'm still getting password auth errors, but I still have I have a user now, so that's at least closer.
You're getting what errors?
Password errors.
What?
If we got in, or like are you guys going over?
I got it, Aaron. I just typed it wrong.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, say that again.
I was just wondering if you guys were gonna go over anything else, or it was just kind of like if we're all set up, if we could like dip.
Yeah, you're free to
you're
go
free
if
to
you want.
go. I mean, you're not required to stay by any
Well,
means.
yeah, I just didn't want to like miss any like important stuff.
Yeah, the packet's going to have the most information in it. Also, Schemaverse does have a lot of documentation on their site and also the YouTube video.
Okay.
So those are probably going to be the best learning resources. But otherwise, we're just going to do this for a few weeks and kind of get some programming skills built up for new people. So if you don't know what's happening, please reach out to me or Aaron on Slack.
Okay.
I'd be more than happy to help.
So is this gonna like is this starting like today? Like this whole thing? Like this is it?
Yeah, it's running right now.
Okay.
It's a pretty long game, so it's not really.
So it goes
It's
in.
been running.
It goes in day-long rounds, and then every day it'll reset. So it's going to run until we stop it.
Okay.
So if you don't want to play one day, totally fine. Jump in the next day. If you're going to build a bot to play for you, that's also fine.
Are the teams already set up?
There's no teams, but if we want to form player teams, that's fine too. Like informal teams.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
I think
yeah,
the way it's set,
basically,
color in the game. I don't know how that works out though.
to do teams.
Yeah, because each player has an associated icon and associated icon color, which only shows up in like their custom visualizer. So maybe we could do it that way. However you want to do it.
Will we have to re-log in since the host name has changed?
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, you have to re-authenticate against that new host name. Luckily, I'm timing out because I authenticate against the old one.
Every time you want to like type in something or play, you gotta use the host name again and log in.
No, it should stay static now.
You have to have a valid client session to do anything, which means you might need to re-authenticate in like Python. But the host name should be stable long term now that we have a Elastic IP through AWS on it, which basically just means it's not going to change its host name randomly from now on.
Got it.
So like Chris said, you can play when you want and play when you don't want to play. But if you read that document, it'll talk a little bit about setting you can set actions for things. So if you want like a ship to continuously mine a planet, it'll do that for like every tick. There's also fleet scripts, which is kind of how you make the game play for you. So if you don't want to sit there and like enter SQL queries over and over again, I would look into fleet scripts. All right. With that, is anyone else having trouble, or we all good?
Good.
See you, Kai. Thanks for coming. All right. If anyone else wants to go too, that's cool. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, it's a pretty low commitment. If you think this is boring, tell us. If you think this is fun, tell us even more. If anyone needs help, Aaron and I will be available on Slack for the indefinite future. So we're welcome, or we're open to any questions. Cliff is probably as well.
Yes,
any
I am.
questions, feedback? Tell me whether you love it or hate it. I don't.
Watch the YouTube video and then take your Adderall and then obsess over it and then fail all your classes. That's the best way to do it.
Sounds like me when I'm trying to play Dwarf Fortress.
Dwarf!
Bro, how am I supposed to pay attention in class?
How am I supposed to pay
I could
attention
be
in class when
digging
I'm
down 90
beating
levels.
werewolves to death with my own pants?
When you grab someone's pinky when wrestling and rip it off so they die instantly.
Just to lose a pinky and die instantly. Oh my god, Aaron, I asked Smithra if he played Dwarf Fortress, and his response was, I don't, but I know I look like I do. Just for anyone who doesn't know who that is, he's a senior engineer at Northrop, and he's got like a big long ponytail, and he truly does look like he plays Dwarf Fortress, but as he told me, he does not.
Legend.
He's one of the funniest people ever. I'm trying to get an invitation to his line dancing club, but he won't give it to me.
I think he might give one to me.
I asked for both of us, and he said yeah, but then I never followed up. So maybe I'll hit him up in our Discord. Oh, you're not in the super secret Discord.
Rude.
Discord for squares.
All right.
All right, I think we'll go ahead and end the meeting here, unless anyone needs to stay around a little bit longer and get help.
All right.
We'll see y'all next week.
I was just hanging out while I coded for the most part, honestly.
All right.
Yeah, I think everyone's gone.
All right. If anyone wants to help y'all out, I think it's down to the core people again, though. So.
Yeah, 3 of these people are me, and then there's
3
Cliff.
Aarons, 1 Chad, 1 Cliff, and Casey, and I think Casey's good. If you're playing Dwarf Fortress, you're probably good.
Well, no, I'm not even playing Dwarf Fortress right now. What I'm doing is I'm basically, remember how I mentioned I played WFRP?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
No.
It's D&D, but in the Warhammer universe. It's got its own rule system or anything. Mm-hmm. And because my group uses Discord to play because we're an online group, we don't have bots in order to play games. So what they always do is they go, hey, we want to play this system, and they send me the books. And then I have to sit there and make like an entire item, feat, skill, everything directory along with the special rolling rules as well as different things.
Are you implementing specific systems, or are you implementing like the Roll20 system and then adding variations of it?
No. So this is actually a D100 roll under with modifications increasing it. But what if I told you that hold on, do you want to see the, like here, if I just bump something into the Slack chat? Will it bump files? I don't think I am. Am I able to bump files? I haven't used Slack much.
You can send files.
Oh, okay. All right, here, I'm gonna bump
throw it in random or off topic. I'm not sure which one. Random.
Yeah, I was just gonna do it in random. But this is for a bot that I wrote for the Star Wars RPG system. And this is what it takes in order to roll on that.
I'm not seeing anything if you sent anything.
It's loading.
Oh, there it is. Async def die roll. Jesus Christ.
No, this is async def roll. It has to be like that because discord.py.
Yeah. Ew.
And they're not all the same.
This looks big bad.
Yeah, so the thing is...
Not by virtue of your scripting, just because the whole thing looks async and just like layers
because
and layers.
all of it is async and it's all layers. And the thing is that like, so it has to roll like 1d6, 8, or 12 and put it through a custom system where it converts that through a table, but it's async, so I can't outsource the table.
Yeah.
So it all puts it through a table, but the table isn't flipped for negative and positive, so I can't run it through a D8 table or a D6 table. No, every single one has to go through its own table, but all of the results are in like successes, advantages, triumphs, and then like disadvantage, setback, failure, despair, like all that sorts of stuff. And it all has to keep track of it for every single one, and then it also has to output what every single roll got, while also not requiring that they order it in a specific way. So they're able to just like write like 1 Pro, 2D, 3G, 17B, 27 SB, and even though that's entirely out of order for like the positive to negative spectrum scale, it still works. And then it has to total all these up in order to get a grammatically correct ending where it's the triumph, where it's like, because since they cancel each other out, you can have different things where like, well, you got like 3 successes, but you don't output that because you got 5 failures, so you just say 2 failure.
That's beyond me.
It all just has to be like this. It's so bad.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna head out.
Alright, see it.
Thank you for sharing that. That's actually very cool.
Oh no, here, I mean, like, I'll at some point I'll link my decider, my